This is the Geartist XDC600 PLUS. It gives me the kind of real pull on climbs and stability on rough paths that I usually only get from much heavier machines, but it still settles into an easy routine for weekday rides. I would call it a do-it-all electric bike with a serious tilt toward adventure. It suits riders like me who split time between paved streets and unpaved paths, who care more about traction and control than shaving every pound, and who want the option to cruise without pedaling on the way home. If you are hoping for a feather-light city bike, this is not that. If you want something that feels planted, powerful, and forgiving on sketchy ground, it is right there. The frame has that modern, chunky look for a reason. The 26-inch fat tires are around 4 inches wide, and they change how the bike behaves in daily use. I feel more relaxed rolling over cracks, gravel, and wet patches because the tires spread out the impact and keep a larger contact patch on the road. The front suspension takes the sting out of potholes, though it can feel a bit stiff, and it can bottom out if I hit a sharp edge too fast. The hydraulic disc brakes are the quiet hero here. On steep descents and quick stops from higher speeds, the levers feel consistent and predictable, which is what I want when a powerful motor system is pushing me along. There is a bright headlight and a tail light that make night rides feel safer. The seat height and reach lean toward taller riders. I am of average height and it fits me, but if you are on the shorter side, the high saddle and longer reach might feel stretched. The battery is removable, which matters more than I expected. I pop it out and bring it inside to charge, and that alone makes apartment life easier. The display on the handlebar is clean and readable in daylight, and it lets me switch riding modes or check battery and speed at a glance. None of that is flashy. It just works the way I want it to work. Setup took me longer than I planned. The instruction booklet is not very detailed, so I ended up watching a few videos to dial in the brakes and the gear indexing. Out of the box, the wheels were true and the frame was aligned, but I did a careful once-over to make sure the calipers and rotors were centered and the derailleur was aligned. I would recommend a quick check at a local shop if you are not comfortable with adjustments. Once I had everything tightened and adjusted, the first power on felt straightforward. The control layout makes sense, the display is simple, and the mode switching becomes second nature after a few rides. This bike is not light. It is around 66 pounds, and I feel every pound when I need to carry it upstairs or lift it into storage. On the road, that weight flips into stability. At speed it tracks straight, and on loose surfaces it calms down the chatter that normally makes lighter bikes twitchy. The dual motor setup is the headline feature. There is a motor on the front and a motor on the rear, so you get all-wheel drive traction when both are engaged. I can ride with a single motor to save battery on flat city streets, then tap into both motors when I approach a hill or a muddy path. The official materials talk about a peak of around 5,000 watts. I do not think about that number while riding. What I do feel is the immediate surge when I nudge the throttle or when the pedal assist kicks in. On steep hills that used to force me out of the saddle, I now stay seated and just flow up. The pedal assist is tuned in a friendly way. It adds power smoothly without that jumpy on-off feeling that some electric bikes have. Pure electric mode lets me cruise when I am tired, and classic bike mode is there if I want to pedal the whole way. Speed is more than enough. In the right conditions, the bike can push toward the mid-40s in miles per hour, but in real life I spend most of my time much lower than that. What matters is that I can merge with traffic confidently when a light turns green, and I can hold a steady pace without feeling like I am wringing out the motors. The bike feels planted up to the speeds I am comfortable riding on fat tires. Braking matches that power, which keeps the whole package balanced. Strong acceleration without trustworthy brakes is a bad recipe. Here, the levers bite early and modulate well. I can feather them to scrub speed or pull harder for a quick stop without the front wheel washing out. Range depends on how I ride. With a mix of pedaling and electric assist, I regularly get more than 40 miles on a charge in mixed terrain. That covers a full day for me, from a morning commute to an afternoon errand to a short evening loop. On days when I lean on pure electric with both motors a lot, the battery drains faster, as expected. Charging is a simple overnight routine. I usually remove the battery, bring it in, and plug it in while I make dinner. I like not having to drag the entire bike over to an outlet. I have taken it through several real scenarios. My weekday route includes a couple of punchy hills, a cracked industrial side street, and a park path with gravel. With one motor on, pedal assist at a middle level, and a steady cadence, I can keep my breathing light and my speed consistent. If I hit a loose patch or a steeper grade, I enable both motors and the bike just digs in. On a rainy morning, the fat tires and all-wheel drive traction kept me feeling in control. I still ride cautiously on wet paint and metal covers, but the bike did not slip in a way that startled me. On a weekend, I took a detour onto a local dirt trail with roots and rocks. The suspension softened most of it, though when I landed awkwardly off a small ledge, I felt the fork bottom out. It was a reminder to keep my knees loose and pick lines a bit more carefully. The frame did not rattle, and nothing worked itself loose. Motor noise is present but not annoying. It is a low electric whir that fades into the background after a few minutes. My favorite use case has been a mixed commute day. I leave for work with a laptop and lunch in a small pannier on the rear rack. On flat stretches, I use pedal assist to get a bit of exercise. When I hit the hill by the overpass, I tap the throttle and bring the second motor online, glide up, and then switch back down once I crest. After work, I swing by a grocery store and strap a bag to the rack. The weight of the bike helps here because the base feels solid even with a loaded rear. If I ride home after sunset, the headlight is bright enough to see the path and be seen. The tail light is visible from far back. When I get home, the part I like least arrives. Carrying 60+ pounds upstairs is not fun. I have tried to minimize that by locking the frame downstairs and carrying only the battery inside. I would not choose this bike if I had to carry it up multiple flights every day. There are a few small touches that make a difference. The phone holder that came in the box sounds like a small accessory, but it has been genuinely useful for navigation on longer rides. Having my map in view keeps my hands on the grips and my eyes forward. The rear rack is sturdy enough for daily errands. The display is not cluttered, so I can read my speed, assist level, and battery without taking my eyes off the road for long. The removable battery is the one convenience I would miss immediately if I switched to another bike. The ability to run single motor or dual motor on the fly feels smart and practical, not just a party trick. It saves battery when I am cruising and delivers traction when I need it. There are trade-offs. The bike is heavy. The front suspension could use a touch more sensitivity at the top of its travel because it can feel choppy on small bumps and then too quick to bottom out on sharp hits. The seat and reach will not fit everyone out of the box, and shorter riders may struggle to get comfortable. Assembly and tuning takes patience, and the booklet will not hold your hand. I had to do a bit of tinkering and watch a couple of videos to get everything just right. Once it is dialed, it feels solid and stays that way. If you want a light, simple city cruiser, this will feel like overkill. If you need to carry a bike upstairs every day, I would think hard about the weight. If you want range that handles a long day, strong acceleration for hills, real traction on sketchy surfaces, and the flexibility to switch between pedaling and pure electric based on how you feel, the Geartist XDC600 PLUS has been a great partner. It strikes a rare balance for me. I can commute, detour onto a trail just because it looks inviting, pick up groceries, and still have enough charge to take the long way home. The look gets attention, but it is the quiet confidence on mixed terrain that won me over. It is not perfect, but it is honest about what it is built to do, and it delivers on that promise. I will post full information about the Geartist XDC600 PLUS in the comments section. See you in the following videos.